What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Out of the Darkness. I am Q. So I'm going to get back into this Linwood reading, this bombshell report that we got from for Linwood. Just kind of putting the pieces together of what's going on within our government. I'm going to jump in. We're talking about Richard Rossetti, but I want to make sure that before I start, again, I let you guys know that in no way am I condemning anybody. These people must have their day in court. These people must face the judicial system. But at the same time, it is a very compelling read. And so I'm going to continue there. Guys, I do want to say thank you guys for your support of this channel. YouTube has not made it easy on us. The platforms have not made it easy, but you guys have been very supportive. Please help us to spread the word by liking, sharing, and subscribing. And in addition to that, I want to say a very special thank you to our Patreon supporters and our Cash App supporters, the folks that have really made it possible to continue doing what we do. A lot of research goes into this, but unfortunately, we don't really make much on our videos because YouTube suppresses them. And they also demonetize most of them. But thank you guys so much for your support. We don't push the Patreon, the Cash App, and those types of things. We put that information in the description, and we kind of let people do what it is that they feel comfortable doing. So thank you guys for those of you that have supported us, and we really appreciate it. So let's get into it. Once again, we're talking about Richard Rossetti, the DEA agent. So the interviewer starts off, says, "Okay, you mentioned that he's also involved in pharmaceutical." Interviewee: "Oh yeah." Interviewer: "Pharmacy fraud?" And interviewee: "Pharmacy, yeah." Pharmaceutical: I don't think he's got the brain for it. He, as a DEA agent, he uses authority to manipulate pharmacies and shipping and inspections. The DEA inspects pharmacies once a month, especially the narcotics shipments. Generally, the pharmacies are divided, and all the medications over here are narcotics, and they're supposed to be inspected. Well, he would oversee the inspections, and he'd write them off if they had more. If they had less, then he would move them through there. He could sign off on it, and everything looked fine. You know, the numbers would match up. They accounted for everything, and yet they've got 30,000 more pills sitting there because they're selling it for him. And they did all kinds of stuff. They would short prescriptions, but it was just the pharmacies ordering these massive amounts of opioids that he was working with. And he would take them and sell them on the streets, sell them to other pharmacy, moving them through another pharmacy and getting paid for it. And he was manipulating their inspections. It was what he was doing there. And then when, again, they became problematic or didn't want to do it anymore, or felt they were too exposed, or local police had come to their door because they'd heard something, he would boom. I don't know, I'm DEA, and he would distance himself and shut them up, threaten them, and go that way. Interviewer: "Now, you mentioned he had a cousin that looked similar to him." Interviewee: "Oh yeah, I mean, he'll do anything for money. He's crap. He's a large guy. He's like 6'2" or so, a big bodybuilder. He has a cousin that looks almost like him, but he's skinny. Just the face. The cousin, this is the little stuff. The cousin would go into banks with his ID, with his real ID. He would give it to him, and he'd go and open up bank accounts, credit lines, things like this, and they'd max them out, just ruin, bounce checks and credit cards, everything they could possibly get. Then when it finally hit the fan and the bank started collecting or the credit agency started collecting, he would go into the bank as a DEA agent and say, "Who opened this account?" And was like, "Well, this is me. Here I am." It was like, I the one that opened it? Well, no, you're enormous. Obviously, I don't remember you. And then it goes away. It wasn't him. He's done this a lot of times. He had another scam where he actually got other agents shot because of this one, where he was calling as a phony DEA agent, calling people around the country randomly and telling them that a package had been intercepted and it had your name on it. It's drugs or it's drug precursors, things like that. It's not it's not in the country yet, but it's coming. If it gets to the country, I'm going to charge you. But if you pay a fine now, 1,200, 800, whatever, it'll never get here. And he got lots of people to pay it. But a lot of people would con, and a lot of people would be like, "Oh no, I'm not doing that." And they contacted the DEA, and it turned out he was actually the DEA's point man on these complaints. So he was he would run the scam that if anything came back, it went to him anyway. But he did eventually get caught on that because this is a nationwide scam. People all over the country doing this because the three numbers he'd use to do these calls went to the payphone outside of where he worked. The payphone at the gas station, about a block and a half from his house, and to a burner phone. He was known to use, so not so smart. And then a few of the people were able to record the conversation on the phone as evidence. They had an app or something, and then when they called, they got switched around, and everybody was like, "It's the same guy." They were like, "Holy crap," and it was like, then they didn't know what was happening. But because of that, because of the phony DEA people trying to make these phony arrests, there were actually real agents enacting a high-risk warrant in California who got shot. The guy just, as soon as they knocked, said they had a warrant, they identified themselves, he just fired them up because he had heard about the phony agents, and it was because of him. He got his own agent shot and doesn't care. So that's how he is. Interviewer. Okay, that final thing on Rosati. You've mentioned before that he's worked with local mafia people in Maryland. Cowingo Pizza has been mentioned in the past. Can you give me any more details about how that works? Interviewee. Okay. It's, a whole new realm of stuff to worry about. Yeah, he protects certain people who can provide him with what he needs, more money. This is a relationship he had for quite a while, and it's Cowingo Pizza on Route 1 in Cecil County, Maryland. It's a small place. I mean, Cowingo is not very big at all, but it's run by Little Tony Anthony. His father, Big Tony, who is connected to the mafia in New Jersey and New York, he runs the pizza place. But Little Tony owns everything up there. He owns stuff on Route 40 all the way out. He owns millions and millions of dollars in real estate that he gets rent and everything. that all comes from drugs. Rossetti has worked with him for many years. So the local police up there, so have the local police up there. And he's just not touchable. But he gets, this is his steady supplier, his steady source. They bring in drugs. Once a week, they bring in dough from New Jersey. And one of their trucks, it varies which one, but one of those is a big shipment, a drug shipment. Then it's brought in, broken down, and taken out. It's only once a month. And there's a lot. You're talking hundreds of pounds of drugs broken down. Many of it, a lot of the heroin that's brought in could be, a couple 100 pounds of heroin is actually broken down and taken down into Baltimore and D.C. Interviewer. Mostly heroin dealer then? Interviewee. He is now. He used to be more coke, some pills, things like that, but the heroin has jumped way up, and it's predominantly heroin at this point. Interviewer. Now, is Rossetti just running protection for them? Is he moving things for them, or what's his role? What's his role in that specific operation? Do you know? Interviewee. He can give them intelligence. Interviewer. Okay. Interviewee. That's the big thing. If somebody is talking in Baltimore or D.C., he can let them know, or Maryland. He provides intelligence. He gets paid. He can provide them with whatever he needs. If he comes up on a bust or something, because he's always skimming stuff, then he can move it through them. They'll gladly take care of what he comes up with. They were helping previously when the big opioid crisis was going. He was coming up with 20, 30, 40,000 pills, opioid pills of one kind or another. During a month, 1 month, they helped him move it. Because he had pharmacists that were working with him in Maryland, ones he was protecting. And they set up, a softball thing. They set up non-profit groups to launder all the money. But when he was just getting so much, 30, 40,000 pills, they had to move there. I mean, he needed their help to move that kind of stuff. But he provides intelligence to this day. I'm going to go ahead and stop there, guys. We're getting into a little bit more important part. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any comments, if you guys are enjoying this, make sure you guys leave a comment below. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a blessed day.